as a founder, I'll say that be your number one customer sales agent. Always wear your brand on your sleeve or on your chest.
Wait a minute.
Jahan bhi jao, just talk about it. I used to always carry a toilet seat sanitizer in my bag while entering into an aircraft. I never go towards my seat. I used to go left in the washroom, keep a bottle of P-Safe there, and then go to my seat.
Wow.
It's called guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, with P-Safe, there is no tiptoeing, there's no whispering. There is like straight up talk on women health, hygiene and pleasure, the way it should be.
अगर मैं चैलेंज बोलूँगा ना तो पूरे रात निकल जाएगी, दिन निकल जाएंगे. People used to say, P भी कोई brand name रखता है क्या? Then why a man want to come in a feminine hygiene or menstruation? Category बहुत छोटी है. Funding कोई नहीं देगा.
I wish that product existed when I was abroad doing my masters, because I think, I used to miss my bathroom more than I used to miss my parents because that is one thing that every Indian needs.
So we've always been ahead of competition, and I'm the gunda of my own vertical. Execution, execution and execution. I wake up with 1,000 ideas and I go back to the bed with that same 1,000 ideas because I don't know how to execute it. So if you know how to execute it, you're the superhero.
Okay, one word your team would use to describe you.
Hyper?
Oh,
no, they don't say hyper now. Cool.
Today, we are joined by Mr. Vikas Bagaria, the founder of P-Safe, a brand that has transformed how India talks about personal hygiene. What started in 2013 as a response to a personal experience became the world's first toilet seat sanitizer spray, and soon after, a nationwide movement. Under his leadership, P-Safe has become one of India's most bold D2C brands, and the name stands for awareness, innovation, and unapologetic conversation. Mr. Bagaria, with more than 27 years of entrepreneurial experience, has redefined what it means to run a purpose-led, product-first brand that keeps comfort and hygiene at the center of everyday life. Hello Vikas sir, it's so nice to have you on Let's Talk Biz. I feel like this episode is a highlight for me. I'm very glad and grateful that you took out the time to be here today. I'm very excited for the conversation, have so many interesting things to ask you. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. Let's try to make some good podcast.
Absolutely. And sir, like for me, I feel with P-Safe, there was a life before P-Safe, and then there is a life after P-Safe. I think it's a product that's in every woman's handbag now. It's a product that you don't feel that you need till the time you start using it, and then you look back and you're like, okay, how was I ever managing, without it? So it's not just a set of products that I feel that P-Safe offers. It's almost like a movement. So was there like a moment or an experience when you were like, okay, this has to exist?
No, first of all, we still have to do a lot of work. Of course, the purpose of the brand is to have a P-Safe in each and every purse in the world. It's far, far away from where we want to reach. I've said hundreds and thousands of times how I started it. So yes, Srina, my wife, and I, we were on a road trip where she falls sick and she got infected with UTI. It was so severe that she was hospitalized. While she was recovering, the idea of a toilet seat sanitizer spray came in because UTI can happen because of unsanitized washroom, not drinking enough water, or holding on the pee. And there were many reasons, right? Yeah. So unsanitized washroom is one of the reasons. So that is how, and she gave the word P-Safe because it's an idiot-proof name. And that is how the idea of P-Safe, a toilet seat sanitizer, first in the world, came in.
Wow. And, when you had the discussion of the brand at the ideation stage to launching your first product, which was the toilet sanitizer spray, what was the timeline like in the behind-the-scenes journey?
No, I think it was in March 2013 when we thought of having this product, and in 6 months' time, we had the product with us.
Wow.
I think my entrepreneurship journey and experience helped me in developing the product so fast.
Yeah, I'm sure. A lot of R&D, etc. must have gone into having the first rollout for it, right? Did you go through iterations later of the product?
Later, yes, with the colors and the sizes and the fragrance. But initially when we launched,
Yeah.
I think we just wanted to create a product as soon as possible.
Hmm.
We never thought that we will create a brand. We started selling on our e-commerce platform, Safety Cart, at that point of time.
Okay.
So later in 2017,
Yeah.
we thought, okay, let's create a brand out of it. That's when the company Redcliffe Hygiene got incorporated. And the idea was not only sell one product, but to create innovation for women from puberty to menopause. So for 40 years of women's life, how we can bring in different products.
That's amazing. And I think PSafe was, first of its kind in India. And being first isn't always easy. It comes with its own, challenges. So what were some of the challenges that you faced early on in that journey?
अगर मैं challenge बोलूँगा ना तो पूरे रात निकल जाएगी, दिन निकल जाएंगे. But there are a lot, and I think challenges, failures, there are a list of them. But I think with each challenge, they gave me motivation to do more. With each failure, I bounced back. So people used to say, P भी कोई brand name रखता है क्या? So that was one. Then why a man want to come in a feminine hygiene or menstruation? Category बहुत छोटी है. Funding कोई नहीं देगा. ये सिर्फ D2C brand हो सकती है. इसको आप offline नहीं बेच सकते. So these were the many things which I have heard, and I tried to prove them wrong slowly and slowly. Still a long way to go.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned, sir, actually a male founder in a women's hygiene space is not something we see every day, right? How do you think that your perception has shaped the brand's journey and vice versa?
I think it helped. Initially, in 2013, 14, people were very awkward, man talking about menstruation, because in India, it's considered to be a taboo subject, but later, I think thanks to people your age, the Gen Zs and the Instagram, so the world started opening up. You guys started talking a lot, and I think that's how people started welcoming me as well. Initially, yes, but I never said I won't sit down. I want to prove that a man can talk about menstruation, though I don't know how women go through periods and menstruation, but I can feel a bit. I can develop a product by talking to them. So in my R&D team, they're all women. So I'm just being a face, you can say that. But actually, the products are created by women for women.
Yeah. No, sir, but I think that initiation and that decision to do something for women because of a personal problem that you faced close to home also.
No, I think it was by love for love.
When
Srijana suffered from UTI, and so we saw that around 200 million women across the world suffer from UTI. That was a reported case. 20 million in India alone. And if I can help in reducing the risk of UTI, I think that was the only purpose I had.
Yeah. And in terms of brand communication also, I feel like with PSafe, there is no tiptoeing, there's no whispering. There is like straight up talk on women health, hygiene and pleasure, the way it should be. But was this like always a part of the brand communication from day one, or you realized during that journey that India needed this kind of communication?
No, right from the day one. We had a bold name, brand name, P, right? And if you have to target to Gen Zs, you really need to be honest brand. So we are completely gender equal. We talk about anything and everything under the sun when it comes to menstruation, sex, pleasure, wellness. All our campaigns, if you have gone through, it's very bold. Sometimes we do face problems by running ads on Insta and Meta and Google. But I think we never wanted to go into anything which is lightening, brightening, or tightening. We say if you are dark, you are beautiful. If you are fat, you are more beautiful. So we have always been body positive, sex positive, and gender equality brand.
I think that is also huge, and India needed that stir and that conversation, because these are things that all of us face on a day-to-day. And also, like you mentioned, the P-room conversations, a lot of these things happen behind closed doors and are one-to-one discussions between best friends. But to have it online on a page where you see when people comment on, those campaigns, you actually realize that you're not alone. There are so many people who are sailing in the same boat, and now finally the conversation is out there and you can be a part of that movement. So really kudos to Be
Thank
Safe
you.
for bringing that to, that open conversation level. I feel that was missing.
No, I think it was missing in my generation or maybe
Yeah.
the early millennials. But the way India has shaped up, I always give credit to the Gen Zs and the late millennials who have adopted this change and who has made people like us who are Gen X, people born in 70s. So I think it was needed.
Yeah.
So we were at the right time at the right place. You can say that.
Absolutely.
If this would not have happened, it would have been a very difficult journey for us.
Yeah.
So I think the way India has shaped, they have started talking about menstruation, talking about pleasure. I think that has given a boost to us as well.
Correct, absolutely. I think it goes hand in hand, because brands like yours are initiating that conversation and then the country is ready to give their support. So it's like both things are working together.
Yeah.
And I'll take a moment to actually talk about one of the products that I very much fancy of Be Safe, which is the portable jet that you brought in. I wish that product existed when I was abroad doing my master's, because I think, I used to miss my bathroom more than I used to miss my parents because that is one thing that every Indian needs. There are so many memes around it. And finally, to have a product that you can just put in your bag and take with you, it's like taking a piece of India with you when you're going out to study.
So absolutely. I think we Indians are used to water rather than a toilet paper. This is not an invention by us. It was widely available in China. It's just that we marketed it well, and we marketed to the students.
Yes,
we marketed to the old parents of us traveling abroad, especially in Europe and US, where you don't have a bidet or a jet spray, where you need to fall on water. You may get in Asian countries and Middle East, but when you travel to Europe, Canada, or North America and Europe, you definitely need it.
I'd also say, so there were a few products available, like simpler designs, etc. as well. But I think with Be Safe, the design is very ergonomically done, because there were some which were like just, press and use and sort of the Lota concept being translated into a design. But this is an actual jet replacement.
Yeah, it's a 150 ml water, but generally it won't replace a normal conventional jet. But what we say is that you can use a mix of toilet paper and our portable bidet or a Be Safe jet spray, what we said. So it's a mix of both, which you can do it.
Yeah, very interesting. Also, sir, I feel that, you scaled a D2C brand in a category that barely existed till a few years ago. So, what were some of the key decisions that helped you scale the brand to this level?
First of all, we never called ourselves a D2C brand.
Okay.
Because D2C is direct to consumers from your own website. We were never only digital first.
Okay.
So what helped us was that we never, looked at only one channel, which is online. Right from day one, given my experience of, many years of different businesses. So we went offline right from day one. So 2017, when Redcliffe Hygiene was formed, or Be Safe 2.0, you can say that we started placing our product in cafes and at the stations, platforms, at the airports, in the malls, all the dhabas. अगर हम जयपुर जा रहे हैं या देहरादून जा रहे हैं कहीं जा रहे हैं, तो we want to stop at a place where there's a good washrooms. So we started targeting those washroom. Stop for a Be Safe sanitized washroom. So this is how it helped people by using the product at the point of use and then never forgetting it. So these were the initial type of marketing which we did. And then, of course, people used to come on our website or they were seeing at different point of use. If they go to a cafe and say Goa, we had around 100 cafes and nightclubs used to have it in their washroom. The right placement, go to the Ambience Mall. You'll find for last 6 years, Ambience Mall is using Be Safe in their female cubicle washrooms. So that is how we have did all kind of marketing which helped our online and offline sales, and that helped in scale.
So I think that's a great strategy, sir, because a lot of brands today, we feel that, which is also right in many different ways, that we start online. We are not looking to, get into that retail space. But for a brand like yours, how you mentioned, where the use case is where you're present. Because it's something that otherwise when you're watching online, even if you realize that is a problem you face, you're not going to necessarily just press that add to cart. It's when you're using it at the point of concern, you'll go back home and you'll be like, okay, I think if I don't find it in that washroom, I need to carry it in my bag.
Absolutely.
So that's a very interesting strategy that you spoke about. Now there are many players in the market. Newer brands have also come up in this category. How do you continue to differentiate yourself?
So we've always been ahead of competition, and I am such a guy who always welcome competition, because when you are in a category which is small, you need more and more people to talk about it so that the pie becomes larger. And अगर आप उसमें पहले हो तो आप तो उसके गुंडे होंगे. So I am the gunda of my own vertical, you can say that. But having said that, I have learned from the new competition. They come out with many other products as well. What we do is we keep on improving ourselves and introducing new products. So say, for example, we started with toilet seat sanitizers. Then that was only one product, but we said, you can't make a brand out of it, one product. I'm not a Red Bull, right? We have only one product. So we said, okay, let's create innovations towards women's health from puberty to menopause. Mm-hmm. So how you can do that? So the easy extension was menstrual care or period care. Mm-hmm. So how can we different from others is by bringing in biodegradable or a sustainable angle to it. So that's how we started with menstrual cups or biodegradable pads, biodegradable tampons. So what really helped us was our third largest product is panty liners. Mm-hmm. India mein us samay people used to import from China the other brands or the incumbents. And that length was 155 mm, which was a Chinese length for a Chinese body. So we produced India's first 185 mm length, which was more suitable to Indian body type. The period cramp relief roll-ons. Nobody else did that in the world, so we did that. So, but again, if I talk about P-Save as a competition, they're not much. Many people came and went. A big, a large, I can say that rather, 100-year-old company has just copied our product, but they killed it by naming it something else. Okay. I'm not gonna speak about it, but I'm happy that, because yesterday that copying is flattery. So I think I'm really happy that brands like them also coming in this category, which can only help us and others, because we need the category to grow.
Completely agree with you, sir. Also, how you mentioned some of the products, even like panty liners, I feel like there was, of course, that market in India that was trying to look for that product in different markets and, import it. But then there was also that segment that never realized how using those products can make their personal hygiene so much better. So I think you also converted a lot of people into using the products that they should. And the first brand that they ever tried was P-Save.
No, absolutely. Panty liner is not a menstrual product, right? It's a daily women's health product, which you can wear it for 25 days in a month, and which can help you in many ways, right? Spotting, taking care of your, expensive lingeries and other stuff.
I think one of the new launches is also the period panty that you've brought into the market, right? So how you mentioned more sustainable choices. I think these were certain things that have been happening in India since many years, but in a way that is not necessarily very hygienic and safe for the woman. But now with innovation and with the difference that you're bringing in, we are again able to, go back to using probably a washable panty. Jesse pehle kehte the kapde use karte hain, but of course that is not hygienic for the woman. But now with innovation and with these things, we know that an affordable solution, a readily available solution on different platforms, because I feel P-Safe is everywhere. Today, if something has to be bought, it can be bought on Blinkit, it can be bought on the website, it can be bought on Amazon. So that omnipresence of a product like this is also required. So a lot of these different marketing decisions and scaling decisions that happened, can you give me a little bit of insight into, your team and the key players who've been able to do this for you alongside you, of course?
No, absolutely. P-Safe is not about me. It's completely, operated by a young team. So I have many people who joined me in 2017. They are still there. One of them is Ritish, who joined just after the college. And 2 years back, he was made the co-founder. Okay. He's only 27 years old. When he joined me, he was 19 years old. Right. Then we have Sanat, who's leading our international sales. That he's also 27 years old. At one point of time, I had a 20-year-old as one of my key member of R&D to develop products. Wow. We have around 40% women in our team out of around possible 250 people we have. So I think it's not about me. I just be the catalyst. I think the entire PSAFE, be it R&D, be it social media, HR, marketing, digital design, they are all young and hungry team members who are standing besides me and running PSAFE.
That's so nice to know, sir. But I also feel like, it is that founder's vision and their ability to motivate their team to achieve. So you're the, the pillar that's facilitating everything else around them as well, right?
No, I think I treat everyone as my own kid.
Yeah.
I'm 51. These guys are like 22, 23, age of, if I have a kid. So
Yeah.
they're same age. But I think I just give them an opportunity. They are super smart. I always believe in hiring people who are smarter than me. And I always hired people who are smarter than me. I may have an experience, but they can do things faster. They can go into good research. I think the success of PSAFE is entirely 100% to my team.
So we were discussing before, we started rolling about P-room conversations, and you told me some very interesting things about it.
P-room conversations actually started way back in 2017 when there was no podcast and all those stuff. And it was actually live. It was a Facebook live event where I remember we had India's best influencers. They came with us. And the idea was how we let people know when a group of girls goes inside a washroom, what they do. So that's why the name P-room conversation. So pitching about boyfriends, husband, in-laws, bosses, workplace, or anything and everything, cosmetics, brands. So we wanted to be on the fun side. And, log ko dikhaye, yaar, ye to hum hi baat karte hain, it's the same thing this brand is talking about it. And then we did around 3-4 episodes. So it was a city chapter. So Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, Gurgaon. But it was all live, we recorded and but of course technology changed and everything. And then last year, after 6 years, we brought back P-room conversation 2.0, but it was more of a sort of a podcast. Sakhi, who was the host that time, came in again. And we brought again many, known figures. And we started talking about, the same thing. But it was more towards particular question, particular categories about themselves and about the whole ecosystem as a whole. But we loved it. It was bold.
That's a very interesting watch, I'm sure, and an extension of what the brand stands for and the conversation that it's trying to lead, right? Great. So I feel like a lot of the content on Instagram that PSAFE does, leveraging the UGC space and creating those stories that resonate and that also make you feel like initially probably a little uncomfortable, but you need to feel, you actually realize, I looked within and I was like, okay, if this is making me uncomfortable, it is so important for me to see this and have this conversation. So apne dimag ka bhi thoda stigma and conditioning tootti hai, that way. So, आपका UGC को लेके क्या approach है with PSAFE?
I think right from the day one, I think when influencer marketing wasn't there, 2017, when people used to buy our product, हम क्या करते थे? We used to call them, how do you like that product? Can you post a review, a video review? उस समय real word use नहीं होती थी, but एक छोटा सा review बना के आप डाल दो. So वो हमें भेज देते थे, and we used to put it up on Instagram as a video. Then on the shorts भी नहीं था, but कुछ combination बना के video बनाते थे. So we have around more than 50,000 UGCs completely organic, unpaid from our users.
Wow.
We have like close to 20 million unique users across all the channels, out of which around 50,000 UGC. So, and we used to compensate them. कि अगर आप जो होता है ना reviews अगर आप दोगे, चाहे अच्छा हो चाहे बुरा हो. So yeah, we used to do that. And then slowly, when the ecosystem started building it up, then influencer marketing came in, and so that really helped us.
Yeah, I think it's almost like a little community that you've built outside of just selling products as well, right?
No, because you have to talk about menstruation, right? You have to break the taboo. So I remember 2020 December, we ran a campaign called Men Buy Pad.
Okay.
So we actually had one father. It was a film. We made a small 2 minutes film. A father who's a single parent. His daughter is about to reach puberty, and he was shopping for her all dolls and Casios and other stuff. But she was showing that she's 13, and then she sews a pad. और पीछे से म्यूजिक आती है, हमें पता नहीं लगता बेटियां कब बड़ी हो जाती है. It was so touchy, and I really love that, and I can tell you that 25 million views.
Wow.
And all fathers, and I have so many DMs where I said, because thank you, now I'm buying pads for my daughter. So that feels good about it, because you're not only changing how people think, but how you are making a change in the society. I think that's what I'm super proud of my team.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that, sir. And I feel, those first conversations, that initiation, once that happens, everybody follows suit. They feel like एक बार वो ice break हो गए and
no, absolutely.
हाँ जी.
ऐसे ही होता है. I think and thanks to the other brands and all the newcomers who have come in. अकेले हम नहीं कुछ कर पाते. I think I can name few competition, but we actually, so Deep from Sirona really worked hard alongside us to create this ecosystem. So my thanks goes to the other brands as well. Otherwise this category would not have grown.
The mission is the same.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have two other brands, which is called the adjacent brand or the sister brand.
Okay.
One is Furr by PSafe. Furr, as I spell it, as FURR, which is our grooming and beauty and personal care.
Lovely.
So we started after Corona because women stopped going to salons.
Yeah.
So hair removal. So that's one of our category which is growing very, very rapidly for us. Again, it's hygienic, to have hair or not. And we said, we always said that it's your choice to shave or not. Completely your choice.
Correct.
We say, it's your fur. You should adore your fur. But if you want to shave it, we have a product.
Yes.
And then on a World AIDS Day, I think 2022, we launched Domina by PSafe. Yeah. So Domina is more of sexual wellness and pleasure brand. If you focus on Domina, it means to dominance,
yes.
As well as the last three letters of the word vagina and condom. So Domina.
That's very interesting wordplay.
Yeah. So Dom is the condom, last three letters, and Ina of vagina.
Yeah.
So because we launched vaginal condom, that is how the word Domina. And the tagline was take charge. So we said, women, that why you wait for your partner to wear a contraceptive? Why don't you take charge and save yourself from unwanted pregnancy or unwanted STDs? So that is how we talk about it.
Completely changing the narrative.
Absolutely.
And how India needs to see all of this.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of, any insights or things that you've learned about your customer base, especially women, something that really surprised you.
Yeah, so we were selling this women intimate wash, which was all natural. I knew because of my family background of intimate wear or lingerie, which my sister was is a designer, that women buys the maximum men's underwear. 80% of women buys men's underwear, mothers or wives.
Yes.
It happens with us as well. When we were selling women's intimate wash, they came to us and said, we want men's intimate wash. So, and we, to our surprise, we produced that product and we started marketing it. Till now, 80% of these are bought by women.
Okay.
And we have become number one in UK and North America. India mein dheere-dheere grow kar raha, but that country picked up very well on our export side. But yes, I was really surprised. So I always say to my team that please speak to customers and consumers. You never know what you can bring it out.
Yes, customers are going to come and tell you what they want.
Absolutely.
That's there. Something, that you would like to tell our viewers and aspiring entrepreneurs that are trying to build a business in a category that's currently less explored and are probably being faced by questions similar to what you faced back in 2013. So how can they proceed?
I can say it's a difficult journey. Be ready for a lot of failures. Learnings are there. If you have time, I think I was lucky that when I started PSafe, I was like 42, 43 years old. I had my share of success. I had something to fall back on.
Yeah.
So I had that privileged or liberty to go into that category. But of course, I have suffered a lot or learned a lot during the category. But if you need to create and go into the category, you really need to have patience and capital. Otherwise, go into the category which is already been explored, and if you can bring innovation in there, that will be much more easier. Uh, to be honest with you, if you don't have time, if don't go into a new category.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Because you need to pave the way for yourself. There are no existing roads that you can walk.
and I have been lucky that
Yeah.
I have reached a certain stage, but otherwise क्या होता है, first mover advantage के साथ क्या होता है, people will come with a lot of money, they will copy you and they will overtake you.
Okay. Makes sense.
But I was in a category which is menstruation, sexual pleasure. अभी भी लोग बहुत कम लोग हैं because that was considered to be a taboo subject. Yeah.
I think it's like a little bit of a leap of faith that you need to take, and you need to be very confident in that brand communication and how
Yes.
you're communicating with your customer to be able to create space for yourself.
It's very easy to make a product and sell online,
Yeah.
especially on Amazon. To sell on your own platform, which is D2C or your own brand.com, you have to bring people by spending money. So I'll say that go into the category which is large enough, go into the category which need innovations, and try to bring a product, because product sells. अगर आपका product अच्छा है, सब खरीदेंगे. But the competition is so high now, especially in the beauty and personal care or cosmetic. So if you can avoid that category, unless until you have an innovation, I will being blunt, don't get into it. But yeah, there is no one defined yes or no. It may not have worked for me 8 years back. It may work now.
Yeah.
So everyone has its own journey and path. Everyone has his own learnings. So I think you should, if you are coming to me, I can only say that don't do this. Right?
Yeah.
I would never say that ये करो, because आज और उस समय में बहुत फर्क है. But I can only say that don't do this. Like, don't bring in many products. Don't spend on Meta and Google. Try to be organic. Try to be at the point of use. So those kind of and make customer your first investor.
Yes.
I think that's what I will say.
So I want to ask you one thing. I think now the market has become so crowded, and even online there are multiple brands that have, done everything right in terms of, having a good product, a great branding. But in terms of that organic growth that, we talk about, it becomes very difficult to get eyeballs and get the first 100 customers to sort of purchase, and then slowly word of mouth to take it forward. So when you're not spending in marketing, how would you recommend that a brand navigates that space when they start?
I think trial works a lot.
Okay.
You should get into the trial commerce, where you are sending the product through some trial commerce platform where people are using your product. And if your product is good, people will come back to you, or they will recommend. Because see, the eyeballs which you just said, Meta and Google doesn't push organic. Unless and until you give them money, they won't do anything.
Yeah.
So try to go and meet your friends and families, their extended friends and families. Do trials, and product अगर अच्छा है ना, आपको कोई नहीं रोक सकता. But first 100 customers will only come from some pop-up shows, participating in all women exhibition if your product is women centric, or tie up with bigger brand as a giveaway. Get some reviews. Be your as a founder, I'll say that, be your number one customer sales agent. Call each and every customer, then beg for the reviews. Put it there. Always wear your brand on your sleeve or on your chest. Jahan bhi jao, just talk about it. I used to do that. Talking about 2014-15, when Redcliffe wasn't born and PSAF was there, I used to always carry a toilet seat sanitizer in my bag. While entering into an aircraft, I never go towards my seat. I used to go left in the washroom, keep a bottle of PSAF there, and then go to my seat.
Wow.
It's called guerrilla marketing. So whosoever is coming, hey, ये क्या है यार? ये तो कुछ PSAF पड़ा हुआ है. तो जब मैं बाद में mid flight में जाके देखता था, somebody would have taken it. So you have to be.
Yes.
I didn't ever hesitated about if I'm sitting with my friends. Be it women or men friends, I always talk about यार period में आप कौन से produce करते हो? Do you talk to your wife or your sister about period care? menstruation. So I always walk the talk. I
Yes.
think unless and until you do that, it will be difficult to scale.
You have to put yourself out there, and I think that's also something that I learned the hard way. I was always somebody I used to shy away from, having these conversations, and then someone once told me that to be an entrepreneur, you have to be shameless.
Absolutely.
You have to not think about.
आपको अपना ठेला लेके चलना पड़ेगा कहीं भी जाओ.
बिल्कुल. So learned that during that whole process, and I think that's again one takeaway for all entrepreneurs, that you are the face of your brand, and you need to, like you said, wear it on your chest and walk everywhere. Yes. That's great. Another thing, sir, like a lot of young entrepreneurs are coming up today. So पहले थोड़ा सा ये होता था कि experience ले लेते हैं फिर अपना काम शुरू करेंगे. Now even I started my work right out of college, and a lot of us are doing that today because we start thinking about that idea very early on, and we try to keep ourselves updated and ahead of the curve. But still जब आप ऐसे किसी कंपनी के साथ नहीं काम करते हो बहुत चीजें, then in your first business you learn on the job from the ground up. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that experience is necessary?
Every solution problem has different root.
Yeah.
I may get trolled for this, but personally I believe now that if you have an education or not, doesn't matter. You have to be a great executor.
Yeah.
If you know how to execute, and if you can manage your daily expenses, you can do whenever you want to. But if you have a family to support, or if you are quitting your job, a highly paid job, and starting something new, you should have some backup to manage your family, because काफी लोगों के पास पैसे होते हैं, सेविंग होते हैं, वो चल जाता है, लेकिन आजकल it's too difficult to maintain, and then where the founder or the entrepreneur breaks. बोलते हैं जब आटे दाल का भाव पता लगता है तो मुश्किल होता है. So I am in a thought that you should gain some kind of experience. Why? Because with all due respects to the young entrepreneurs, you know how to take orders. When you know how to take orders, you will give orders accordingly.
Wow, that's a beautiful way of looking at it. Yeah.
So I think it's very important. You should work somewhere. You know how to be an employee, and then when you hire people, you know how to treat them.
Yes.
Because I have seen many founders having that kind of challenges, young founders. But a lot doesn't, because they know how to do it. So it's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Again, people will can debate. नहीं हम school से काम, and there are so many successful people who have done it from schools and colleges. ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं है. But my personal thought is at least 2 years, be it an internship, be it something, but work somewhere. Learn what is business, not the product. You have to know what is GST, what is income tax, what is freight, what is customs, what is accounting, what is all things which you need to know. Or you go and sit somewhere and get the best team who are smarter than me.
Yeah.
So say for example, you are good at product, you're good at marketing, but you're may not be good at accounting. So get your first member into finance who's good at finance, somebody who's good at legal. So get those people on board so that you can rely on them, and then you can start. Because initially हम सब कुछ कर सकते हैं, but जैसे scale करेंगे, you need to have people who are expert in your domain.
Completely agree. So I also feel like when you get that initial experience, you're still in your comfort zone and you're watching somebody else do it and learn. So usme wo risk factor is significantly reduced. When you're on the front line, you know that every decision you make is going to have an impact. Yeah, it's yours. Absolutely. Exactly. So there having a little bit of a base and a foundation, of course, really, really helps. I think for me, how that happened was that I started my business in 2020, and that's when I was supposed to go for my master's, but I deferred the course because of COVID. So at that time I started, it was just like a tea time conversation with mom, and I was like, okay, start karte hain, dekhte hain kya hota hai. Because I did not put all my eggs in one basket, because I was not like, ye mera ultimate business hoga, I did not put that pressure on myself. So on the job, धीरे धीरे पहले 3 साल सिर्फ सीखा. Almost like, working for somebody. Trial and error approach से भी सीखा, लोगों से बात करके भी सीखा. Then I could go full out. तो उससे एक cushioning हो गई, because now if I feel like if I had to take those decisions that I'm taking today back when, a lot would have been on the line.
Yeah,
So that becomes very daunting and a little scary also, especially at a young age.
Again, the world has changed.
Yeah.
If I talk about when I graduated from college,
Yeah.
after 2 months, internet came into the world, right? 15th of August 1995, right? And the same, I was in Calcutta, born and brought up in Calcutta. So Calcutta was the first city to have internet and the mobile. So you can say that we have graduated without these, right?
Yeah.
And we have adopted. So things are different today. Things are far faster. Technology changes every 6 months. So it's just that it may work for me, it may not work for you. So I think take what's the right decision. You can start from college. You can start after doing some kind of experience. But personally, you should have some kind of experience. The first and foremost thing is that you know how to take orders, and then you know how to give orders and how to manage team.
Yeah, that's beautifully explained. So we'll move to our game section. Yeah. Let's see, I have some interesting questions to ask. The first game section is called the Founders Redo. So we turn the clock and we take you to the time when you had just started PSafe, your first 3 months into it. And I'll ask you if you'd do this or not. The first thing, building a brand around one hero SKU.
Yes.
Okay. Making the founder the face of the brand.
Yes.
Hiring interns as your first team members.
Always.
Wow. Rebranding in your second year.
Never.
Okay. Bootstrapping even when funding is available.
It's a difficult question, because I was building a category.
Yeah.
But yes, it was very difficult for me to raise funding. So yeah, I took some harsh decision which was against me.
Okay.
But I did end up raising funding.
Okay. Using memes in your brand marketing.
We had used a lot.
Yeah.
But I believe you have to be very careful in terms of IP. If you're using IP from some very successful movies or clips or something like that, be ready to get sued. If you're a brand, yes. Okay. If you're a brand, if you're a content creator, if you're a user, no problem. But if you're a brand, you're not allowed to use that clips showing your brand name.
Okay, that's news to me.
Be very careful when you use on your brand platform or promoting your brand using those memes. But if you're a freelancer, if you don't have a brand, it's free.
Yeah. Okay. Giving products away for free just to build community.
Initially, yes, because trial. If your product is good, unless and until it goes to people use it, they won't. But बोलते ना free का कोई value नहीं होता है. But create that value. Ask something in return. Can you endorse your product? Can you review? Can you give a review? So that, and make that free valuable rather than just a free.
Yeah, some sort of energy exchange is important. Yeah. Going retail first as a D2C brand.
I'll say both. Omni. Retail is expensive. You can go up to a scale when you are doing D2C or online, but if you have to go up beyond a particular scale, you have to be omnipresent anywhere and everywhere.
Makes sense. Collaborating with your competitors.
Yes. When you are creating a category, you should be best of the friends, and of course the best of the competitors, because competition gives you an edge and agileness. So yeah, you have to talk to your competition if you are creating a category, because it's always better, being alone rather than being with people.
Yeah. Now the next round is called the quick spray round. So this is just one word or one sentence answers. The first one, your favorite PSafe product.
The toilet seat sanitizer spray.
The OG. The boldest campaign you've ever approved.
I think it was Bleed Your Way.
Can you tell me a little about that?
So Bleed Your Way, no, I think it was both Bleed Your Way and Own the Red.
Yeah.
So Bleed Your Way, because we are a menstrual care product company as well. So we said to our consumers, or giving an option to your consumer, bleed your way. So we have a pad, a tampon, a reusable pad, a menstrual cup, whatever you want, it's your choice. So bleed your way. And we had some amazing bold contents videos on that. And Own the Red, where I remember We had women, our employees, even myself, carrying sanitary pads soaked in blood, showing to people. My LinkedIn profile was for 6 months was holding a pad soaked in blood. So I'm
Yeah.
really proud of that.
Really bold, so, and very important. Okay, one word that describes your marketing approach. I'd say bold.
It has to be bold, bold, and bold.
Yeah. Your go-to leadership style.
Be honest to yourself. Always at the time when there is crisis, be right in the front. When the things are good, be right at the back.
Yeah.
And always turn up next day, no matter what. Just show up.
Yeah. I think that should become a quote and should be there on every entrepreneur's almirah for sure. Okay. The one PSafe SKU you think is underrated?
There are many, but one I can say that which I really want people to know and use more is PSafe menstrual cramp relief roll-on.
Yes,
it's an amazing product. People, pop up some medicine, but I think you guys should use it.
Yes.
I think it's a crazy product.
I will also advocate for it because I have used it. Your biggest motivator right now?
I think it has to be self-motivated, to be honest with you. You don't need anyone to motivate you, but I think my team who has done so much for PSafe, I think when I see them coming all the way, couple of hours, one way to office and then go back, the office boys, giving 100%, I think that makes me, to do more, to ensure that they get everything on time. I think otherwise you need to be self-motivated.
Yeah. Okay. What's harder, ideas or execution?
Execution. I wake up with 1,000 ideas and I go back to the bed with that same 1,000 ideas because I don't know how to execute it. So if you know how to execute it, you're the superhero.
Yeah. I think with execution, the story is such that if you're able to execute even an average idea, you're still ahead of the person who's sitting with great ideas.
अभी भी मैं 1000 idea आता है रोज और मैं वही 1000 idea लेके चला because I don't know how to execute it.
Okay. One brand you admire?
I think there are many brands. Red Bull is one such because I started as a one product brand.
Yeah.
So Red Bull, yes, some amazing marketing, amazing. One product can rule the world. It's crazy.
Was it Red Bull that kind of put used cans in different bins initially to make people think that, everybody's drinking Red Bull?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Their marketing, everything. You have to be some talent or some company to be a one product brand.
One thing every founder needs to learn.
Patience. And it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time and you can't do it alone. But I think most important what the founders need to know is when and how to delegate work. Because बहुत बार क्या होता है कि हम चाहते हैं कि यार हम ही सब काम कर सके, that's not possible. After a point you need and you start to delegate things and start working on the third quarter when you are reached a particular stage. Empower people. Give responsibilities and don't do micromanagement.
Yeah. It's almost like you're talking to me because, these are things that I need to work on. I want to ask you, sir, like when you started out, with the vision to build PSafe and later you hired a whole team for it, team of experts, now departments and so many people working for you, with you. How did you tell yourself that, you had this vision, you started everything? How are you going to, what is it that you delegate? How do you delegate and tell yourself ki ho jayega?
When I started PSafe, I was already running multiple businesses. Yeah. I knew how to do that. So I was in a different, mind frame, you can say that.
Makes sense.
But PSafe was a different company, different product, different category. It was more of consumer-led rather than a business-led. So I thought मुझे digital marketing नहीं आती, तो I have to get someone who's good at digital marketing. right? मुझे warehousing चाहिए, तो I need someone in warehousing. I need someone who can do my R&D. So I always hire people for those kind of talent which I didn't had.
Makes sense.
And made them responsible for delivering those. I can give them ideas, but I didn't knew how to execute it. So that is how I delegated and empowered them to make mistakes. But I always said that the first mistake is a mistake, right? But the second same mistake is a conscious decision.
Yeah.
So don't repeat your mistakes. I think that has helped. So a lot of people, which I build around me, have stick towards me and give them all the reasons to grow. I think that only that they will be there with you.
Yeah, I think that's with everything in life as well.
Yeah.
But do you still handle the core decisions of the company, or?
Strategic, yes. Not
okay.
on the operation.
All right.
I have people in all my departments. They are all, absolutely trained professionals. They know how to take their own decisions, but they have to stand by it.
Yeah.
We do have plans, budgets, targets. So we work around that. So I don't go into now on a day-to-day businesses, but I start working on a couple of quarters ahead of it, so that I can make their road smooth for them to operate and execute.
Great. 3 things that PSafe did in the space of marketing that you'll tell every business to do today.
Listen to your consumers. Be omnipresent if your business demand that, and be very, very honest. We have been an honest brand. I'm super proud to say that we have always been an honest. जो हम बोलते हैं वो हम करते हैं. So, and I think, and do anything and everything within the gambit of the law of the land. I think that's what PSafe is super proud of.
Okay, one word your team would use to describe you.
Hyper.
Oh no,
they don't say hyper now. Cool. I think cool. Yeah.
Very
cool.
nice. I think it's so interesting how it went from hyper to cool.
I used to be.
Yeah.
I used to be a lot hyper. I think I've got more of wisdom with me now. So I'm cool. Pehle I used to react on each and every small things which goes against the brand or mistakes. But I think with age, you started to know that you don't need to react on each and everything, because हम क्या करते हैं वो 99% reaction में ही stress आ जाता है.
पूरा दिन ही उसमें निकल जाता है, कुछ productive नहीं होता. Great, sir. I think this was excellent conversation. So many takeaways, and of course I'm so grateful that you took up the time to come here and speak to us today. But outside of that, I am also very thankful that you decided to build a brand that the country needed, that the whole community of women needed, and to initiate those conversations that probably at that time other people did not have the courage to speak about. So the brand's built from a space of empathy, courage, and understanding what the consumer really needs. And I'm very, very thankful to you for that on behalf of all us women, and now men as well, since you have a range for men. But thank you.
No, thanks for having me. I think people like you and others who adopt changes and who wants to talk about subject which used to be considered taboo. I think we will definitely have a great penetration of these products very soon. But thank you so much, and all the best for your future and whatever you do in life.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, I have a little something for you as a token from Art Amity. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. I hope you enjoy the gift.
Yep.
If there's one thing I hope you take away from this, is that building a business isn't just about launching a product. It's about starting real conversations, shifting mindsets, and having the courage to say things others won't. So whether you're starting out or scaling up, here's the truth. The most meaningful brands solve everyday problems, but with intention, empathy, and originality. So don't chase the noise. Build what matters. Because those kind of businesses and that kind of entrepreneurship doesn't just sell, it leads. So meanwhile, stay tuned and stay hungry, because at Let's Talk Biz with Shubhagata, we take you from vision to victory.